You think fear makes you weak. But what if fear was never meant to make you weak? What if your brain has been using it for something else? Something you probably never noticed. Think about it. The things you overthink the most are usually the things you care about the most. The decision you keep delaying. The message you keep rewriting. The opportunity you keep telling yourself you're not ready for. The conversation you keep imagining in your head, again and again and again. You call it overthinking. You call it being careful. You tell yourself, I just need more time. But sometimes you don't need more time. You need to admit what's actually happening. You're afraid. Afraid of failing. Afraid of looking stupid. Afraid of being rejected. Afraid of choosing wrong. Afraid that people might see the version of you you've been trying to hide. And the strangest part? Nothing has even happened yet. Nobody rejected you. You haven't failed. Nobody laughed. The conversation hasn't even happened. And yet, you're already emotionally living through the consequences. That's what fear can do. It doesn't always need a real threat. Sometimes, a possibility is enough. What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I finally try and discover I'm actually not capable? That last one hurts differently, because sometimes you're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of what failure might say about you. And that is where fear becomes personal, because now you're not protecting yourself from an event, you're protecting an identity. The identity that says, I'm capable, I'm smart, I can do this, I'm not a failure. So your brain starts looking for certainty. Before you act, before you speak, before you take the risk, you want to know it will work. You want to know they won't reject you. You want to know you won't regret it. You want proof before you move. But there's a problem. Life doesn't give you proof first. So you wait. And while you wait, your brain gets a very interesting lesson. Avoiding the thing that scares you makes the fear feel smaller for a moment. You feel relief. And that relief matters, because your brain remembers what made you feel safe. So next time, you avoid it again. Another little escape, another little relief, another reason to wait. And slowly, something changes. You stop saying, I'm scared to do it, and you start saying, that's just not who I am. I'm an overthinker. I'm not confident. I'm not good with people. I don't take risks. I'm just like this. Read that again, because this is where fear can become dangerous. Not when it scares you, but when you start building your identity around it. You don't just experience fear anymore. You start explaining yourself through it. And then you defend it. You protect it. You even find logical reasons for it. I'm being realistic. I'm waiting for the right time. I'm thinking things through. Maybe you are, but sometimes thinking things through is just fear wearing intelligent clothes. And here's the uncomfortable question. How much of your personality is actually your personality? And how much of it is a collection of things you learned to avoid? Because maybe you weren't always afraid to speak. Maybe you learned it. Maybe you weren't always afraid of failure. Maybe something happened and your brain remembered the pain. Maybe you weren't born afraid of being judged. Maybe somewhere along the way, being judged started feeling dangerous, and your brain did what brains are designed to do. It tried to protect you, not make you happy, not make you successful, protect you. That distinction changes everything, because your brain doesn't always ask, will this make my life better? Sometimes it asks something much simpler. Will this keep me safe? And those two questions can lead you to completely different lives. The safe choice feels good now, but what does it cost you later? The call you didn't make, the person you never approached, the opportunity you never took, the opinion you never expressed, the version of yourself you never gave a chance to exist. And maybe that's why some people don't feel like they're living the wrong life. They feel like they're living a life that is smaller than the one they imagined. Not because they lack dreams, but because every dream comes with uncertainty. And uncertainty is where fear becomes loudest. So maybe the goal isn't to destroy fear. Maybe that's impossible. Maybe the goal is to stop treating every fearful feeling as an instruction. Because feeling afraid doesn't automatically mean don't do it. Sometimes it means this matters. Sometimes it means this is unfamiliar. And sometimes it simply means your brain doesn't know what happens next. And that is not the same thing as danger. So the next time your mind says, "What if everything goes wrong?" don't immediately believe it. Ask one more question. What if it doesn't? And then ask yourself something even harder. How many things have I lost, not because I failed, but because I was too afraid to find out? Maybe the most dangerous thing about fear isn't that it stops you. And if somewhere in this video, you recognized yourself, the overthinking, the hesitation, the what-ifs, the things you never said, the things you wanted to do, but kept postponing, then maybe this wasn't just a video about fear. Maybe it was a mirror. And you might be wondering, if this channel is just words on a screen, no flashy visuals, no perfect life, no one standing here telling me what to do, then what can it really change? Maybe nothing. But if one idea makes you question a thought you've carried for years, if one sentence makes you notice a pattern you never noticed before, if one uncomfortable question makes you make one different decision tomorrow, then the screen doesn't need to show you a different world. Because the point was never to show you something. It was to make you see something. You, your thoughts, your patterns, your fears, the invisible rules you've been living by. Because real growth doesn't always begin with motivation. Sometimes it begins with noticing. Noticing why you hesitate, why you avoid, why you keep repeating the same pattern, even when you know it hurts. And once you can see the pattern, you can finally question it. And once you can question it, you're no longer completely controlled by it. So maybe this channel isn't here to tell you who to become. Maybe it's here to help you notice who you've been becoming without even realizing it. No promises, just one uncomfortable truth at a time. Because sometimes the biggest change in your life doesn't begin with doing something. It begins with finally seeing what has been doing you. And if that thought stays with you after this video ends, maybe that's enough for today. Because tomorrow, you might see yourself differently.